Hi everybody, this is Dr. Taryn Mason with Fostering Wellness and Randolph Chiropractic. Hope you all had a Happy New Year. Welcome to 2017. So I have a special report to share with you all today, so let's get started. Here we go. Alright, so here you can see I've got a map. I've got a map here that's going to show you basically that we as Americans are in a major healthcare crisis or health crisis. I'm going to talk to you about a certain affliction, a certain problem that affects more than 20% of Americans in every single state and U.S. territory. In 25 of the 50 U.S. states, more than 30% of the population is suffering from this particular problem. This problem is costing us, well, in 2008, it was costing us $147 billion a year. This is killing us. This particular problem increases our risk for heart disease, stroke, and certain types of cancer. Any idea what I'm talking about? You guys might have guessed it. This is obesity. Did you hear what I said? More than 20% of Americans in every state are suffering from obesity. In all of the United States, our population, 36.5% of the U.S. population is obese. I'm not talking about overweight. This is a step beyond that. 36.5% of our population is obese. And another number that I find to be really scary, 12.7 million U.S. children and adolescents suffer from obesity. Again, these aren't just kids who are a little overweight. This has gone a step beyond that, and they are obese. That's 17% of our children. It's crazy, right? And then for the medical cost for people who are obese is $1,429 more annually than a person of normal weight. Scary stats, right? I'm sharing these stats with you not to scare you, but to encourage you to take personal responsibility. We make choices every day that get us to this place that have taken us as Americans collectively to being a pretty overweight and obese population. So what I want today is to give you some strategies where we can make some changes here. And you know what? If you just change yourself, don't worry about the rest of the stats, don't worry about the rest of the population, but let's just see if we can make a change in our own lives and in our own communities. And it's really not, it's not a complicated solution, right? You guys saw our us advertising this webinar. You know what it's called. It's called EAT. Oh, there we go. EAT. So by changing what we eat, by what we put in our mouth on a daily basis, we can beat this obesity crisis. We can beat this affliction that so many Americans are suffering from. It's truly not a complicated solution. And it's not just about beating obesity. Proper nutrition is so important because changing what you eat will give you an abundance of energy, boost your self-esteem, give you a more positive outlook, more positive spirit. It'll give you a glowing complexion, and it can change the future for you and for your family. Remember, 12.7 million children were obese. Guys, it starts with the parents. They're learning from us, right? So we've got to be making those right choices for our family. So like I said, I'm going to try to give you some strategies today that you can take home and apply. And really take these seriously, guys, because we don't want to be one of these statistics, all right? So strategy number 1, eat like a caveman or cave woman. It's not my intention today to necessarily push one specific diet on you because we are all different and there are different things that are better for different people. So I'm going to give you some general guidelines, but this is a pretty decent guideline because back in the day, cave people, they weren't eating McDonald's, they weren't eating processed foods, everything was fresh. Certainly, we can take advantage of the technology that we have and maybe like cook our food, right? Rather in an oven rather than over a fire, right? But if we really think about eating more like our ancestors and less of the TV dinners, microwavable dinners, processed foods, that's going to make a huge difference for us. One key to healthy eating is to avoid any food that has a TV commercial. I don't think that we're often seeing commercials for broccoli, right, or cucumbers, or peppers, or salads, right? We're not seeing commercials for these types of foods. Any sort of advertising, any sort of marketing, it has an agenda behind it. And that agenda isn't always a bad one, but I'm telling you, the people making food advertisements, their agenda typically is not to help you be healthier. Really, they're generally marketing convenience when they're talking about when you're seeing food marketing. But eating healthy isn't always about eating what's the most convenient. It's about eating what's going to help your body thrive. So let's avoid foods that have lots of advertisements, all right? So what to eat? We're going to eat like a caveman. We're going to eat like our primal ancestors. What to eat? This infographic is from Primal Blueprint, which is put out by a man named Mark Sisson, and I'll talk to you about him a little bit more later. But basically, this is the new food pyramid. Our old food pyramid, back when I was in school, had lots of grains on the bottom, right? And that's what we were eating most of was those breads and pastas and all those carbohydrates. We really need to turn that on its head. So this is the new pyramid. Meat, fish, fowl, and eggs. That's where the bulk of your dietary calories are going to come from the saturated fats from these foods. This is going to increase your energy. You're going to have more what's satiety, meaning that you're going to feel more full. It's also better for your hormone function and protein building in your body. So that's the big thing that should be on the base of the pyramid. And then vegetables. I want you to eat locally grown vegetables. My idea is I'd love you to eat organic vegetables. We don't want to be eating vegetables that have been sprayed with pesticides. If our vegetables are growing in soil that has had its nutrients totally sapped and have just been poisoned with chemicals, you know, it's not going to be as healthy for you as the organically grown vegetables. They're going to be more nutrient dense. So the more you can eat fresh and local and organic foods, that's going to be better for you. And actually that also applies to the meat and fish and fowl. As far as like beef goes, guys, or at least for our patients, unless who are watching this, we live in Vermont. It is such a great place to be able to find locally grown food. My cow comes from a farm that I can actually see from my back porch. So I know where my food was raised, and it's not that hard to find a local farmer that you can buy your meat, your poultry, buy those things from, okay? So then vegetables, again, locally grown. And then the next thing I want you to be eating is the healthy fats. So obviously you're gonna be getting some healthy fats from those healthy meats, but then you're gonna be putting other healthy fats into your diet in the forms of oils and like avocados and stuff like that. So I encourage you for cooking, to cook with animal fats, butter, and coconut oil. That's right, guys. Butter is back. You can eat butter. Please get rid of the margarine. It's just chemical-laden garbage, truly. So if you eat butter from, especially that was produced by healthy animals, so again, healthy cows are going to produce healthier butter. So if you do that, cook with that, that's going to be better for you than cooking with vegetable oils. Vegetable oils, even olive oil, they basically burn at a lower temperature, and once the oils burn, they become unhealthy and very inflammatory for you. So if we're cooking with animal fats, butter, and coconut oil, that's going to be better for you. And then as far as eating fats, avocados, coconut products, olives, olive oil, macadamia nuts, all those things are great for you to eat. Put those sorts of things on your salad, okay? And then foods to be had in moderation. That's going to be more your fruits, okay? Everyone says fruits and vegetables like they're the same word. They're not the same word. They don't mean the same thing. I love fruit. It's a beautiful thing, and it does come packed with a lot of nutrients, but fruit also comes packed with a lot of sugar. Particularly a lot of our melons are going to be very sweet, right? So we want to eat, the recommendation we generally make in our offices is twice as many vegetables as you do fruit. So you can have vegetables in moderation. And then high-fat dairy, if you're going to do dairy, I encourage you to do the high-fat dairy, so avoid skim milk. Basically, it's sugar. Avoid doing like the low-fat or no-fat yogurts. If you can get more fat with that, you're going to process the carbohydrate in that slower, and so it's not going to be as sugary for you. And then the other things to have in moderation would be your starches like quinoa and brown rice, and then also you can eat nuts and seeds and nut butters. Again, in moderation, they're good for you, but you don't want to make those things the staple part of your diet. And then you're going to have indulgences because we're not perfect, right? So dark chocolate, if those of you who are around, we had the chocolate affair in our offices where we celebrated how we can make chocolate a little healthier. Those are things that you can have in small portions. Also on that top part of the pyramid, we're going to include supplements. And if you come to our Life You Save class in our offices, we talk more about the right kind of supplementation, but typically we encourage our patients to be on some sort of omega oil or fish oil. We encourage people to be on probiotics because at some point you've taken an antibiotic that has killed the good gut bacteria. So we want to resupplement that with probiotic. And then I always recommend a joint supplement in the form of like a glucosamine or some sort of something that's going to help support your collagen and support your joints. All right, so this is the new pyramid, the new food pyramid. And then also, so what not to eat. We want to avoid the processed foods, cereal grains. Again, we don't want to do a ton of that dairy, but if we are, we're going to do the fuller fat dairy. We want to avoid refined sugars, white starchy potatoes, also corn. I know my husband, it's his favorite vegetable, but lots of corn is really just a lot of sugar. And then refined vegetable oils. So like, again, margarine, canola oil, peanut oil. We don't want to be doing those things. Stick with the olive oil, and then cooking, I would cook with that coconut oil and animal fats and butter. Okay. All right, guys. So that's what to eat. So I want you to have some recipes if you're going to be eating these things. So let me just show you some recipe suggestions. Oh yeah. So again, if we're going to eat like a caveman, we're going to avoid those processed foods. Please, guys, fast food, McDonald's. This cave guy, he certainly wasn't eating that back in the day, and we shouldn't be either. People have actually done this experiment where you can take a burger from McDonald's, like what is it, a Big Mac, you can stick it in a paper bag, and a week later that Big Mac looks the same. Your food shouldn't be like that. Your food, the food you want to be putting in your body, should be food that expires. But if that Big Mac a week later hasn't gone rotten, there's something wrong with it, okay? So let's be avoiding those foods. Next, all right, so I would just want you to be able to have some healthy recipes that are going to include these healthy foods that you should eat and avoid the foods that we want to avoid. So here are some recipes. I would encourage you to maybe take a screenshot of this. You can screenshot it on your computer, or you can just snap a picture with your cell phone. I'm sure you have your cell phone on you, right? But you can take a picture of these links and you can visit them later. But we have a make your own granola from paleogrubs.com. A lot of times granola has been advertised, it's been touted as a health food, but really it's high in sugar, it's high in fat, and not always necessarily those good fats, and it is usually also a lot of carbohydrates. So this make your own granola from Paleo Grubs is going to be a much healthier form of granola. Also primal breakfast burritos from Finding My Fitness, and that's actually pictured in the top right hand corner. That's going to be a beautiful breakfast burrito for you. Also balancingpaleo.com has the Italian scramble, and then some protein pancakes from Not So Desperate Housewife. So hopefully you guys grabbed a picture of that for some great breakfast ideas, and I'm also going to jump back and I'll give you a couple of other breakfast ideas in a moment here. And then next we got some lunch ideas. So chicken fingers from thepaleomom.com. For those of you who have kids, it always, I don't know, it always makes me kind of scratch my head when I have moms who are deciding to start making healthy choices and eating for themselves, but their kids won't come along with them, so they're still, you know, feeding their kids the crappy food, you know, like the more processed foods or whatever. But really, you can make healthy eating, you can make it yummy. So here, Paleo Mom has some chicken fingers that are actually coated with like an almond meal, which is going to be much better for you than the breaded covering you find typically on chicken fingers. Also, Paleo Periodical has a taco salad, and then there's this up top right hand corner again is the Asian Rainbow Salad from sprinklesandSauce.com. So I hope you guys grabbed a picture of that. So these are some nice fun lunch ideas, things that you should be able to enjoy, and also some things I think that your kids can enjoy. And then dinner ideas. We've got salmon cakes. That actually sounds just really delicious to me. But that's livingthecrunchylife.blogspot.com. You can get those salmon cakes. And then we have a buffalo chicken salad from worthypaws.com. So again, some nice healthy options. And really, eating healthy doesn't have to be boring. It can be really exciting. And again, I'm going to give you some more ideas for that just in a few slides here. And then dessert ideas. So again, we talked about things that you could have in moderation, those and some of those indulgences, but that's that top of the pyramid. So we're not having as much of these things, but certainly eating healthy doesn't mean that you don't get to eat anything a little sweet or yummy. So we have ice cream. It's a 3-ingredient ice cream, really simple, very delicious, from erismenu.com. Really yummy ice cream. We also have Whole Foods Simply has a cookie recipe for you, and then paleo bars from an AussieWithCrohns.com. Those paleo bars are amazing, so, and very simple. So here are just a couple dessert ideas that you can try. And again, so this is something if you want to indulge, and also you can help your kids indulge too when they're, you know, missing their desserts. So you can still do these things. All right, so we talked about what to eat and what not to eat. Strategy 2, this is pretty simple. Basically, when you're eating, you want to work to never be hungry, but you also don't want to be full. This is my struggle. I love food, and so even when it's healthy food, I just keep eating, even though I'm not hungry anymore, but I just keep eating until I'm bloated and I'm full because it was so delicious. So really, we've got to become disciplined about this. You shouldn't be just gorging yourself until your stomach's going to feel like it's going to explode. Who did that over the holidays? I did. But we really want to avoid doing that. But also, you shouldn't be hungry, because when you're hungry, that's when you're going to make poor choices. When I go grocery shopping when I'm hungry, and I always tell people I have excellent self-discipline when I'm grocery shopping, you know, so I make sure I purchase good healthy foods when I'm grocery shopping. It's at home where I struggle with the self-control. But let me tell you what, if I go grocery shopping after a long day at work and I'm starving, I haven't had dinner yet, then I'm very likely to grab a Reese's Peanut Butter Big Cup in the line when I'm checking out. That is on the not eat list, okay? So you don't want to be eating crap like that. But it's hard when you are going shopping and you're hungry, or when you're desperate to eat something, right? And you're in your house, you're like, I'm starving, I don't want to wait to cook something, and so you grab whatever is easy and convenient and probably isn't as healthy and probably has sugar, because that's what our body tends to super crave when we're hungry. So ways to not be hungry, that's eat those animal fats, eat those healthy fats. We talked about avocado, coconut oil. Make sure you're getting those things in your diet, and those will keep you full longer. There's a lot of controversy or debate, maybe disagreement, about what is the better choice as far as meal frequency. So some people say you should be doing just 3 square meals a day. Other people, you know, you've heard of like eating like 6 small meals a day where you're snacking throughout the day. And to be honest with you, this I think really is finding more what works for you. We all have different types of metabolism, so I really think it's finding yeah, what your body likes. I'm always encouraging people to listen to your body. What does your body want? A friend told me that was their New Year's resolution, was to just be paying attention to their body and really give their body what it's asking for. So I think that applies to our eating frequency. I personally, I don't need to snack all day. I'm pretty good if I have my three meals a day. But the big thing is having a routine with that. So it's not skipping a bunch of meals one day, having 6 small meals the next day, or snacks, and then 3 square the next day. You really want to be getting into a routine so that your metabolism can normalize and your body basically knows what to expect. That being said, I did say never be hungry and never be full. There is some good research around fasting and doing some intermittent fasting. So that could be like a 16-hour fast. There are also, you know, like 2 to 3 day fasts. So obviously if you're fasting, your body might feel a little more hungry, but it actually, after about day 2, that hunger decreases. And I'm not telling you guys to starve yourselves, but I would just encourage you to look into some research on fasting. It is a good thing that can help reset your metabolism a little bit as well. But typically we want to just seek to have a routine that we obey, and so that we're not getting super hungry and making bad choices, but also have the self-discipline to not get yourself too full and overly stuffed. All right? Next, strategy 3, 1 liquid only, and that is water. Guys, it is crazy the sugar in all of the different beverages that we drink, even beverages that are supposed to be healthy for you. My husband thinks that Gatorade is a health food, and actually let me just show you right here. Oh yeah, Gatorade is on here. So I can't read. Gatorade has that's blue Gatorade, 8.5 teaspoons of sugar in it. There's so much sugar, and that's supposed to be a health drink, right? That's what our kids are all eating when they're playing sports. It's just sugar. We want to stay away from these refined sugars. If I didn't say it before, I'm going to say it now. It's not fat that makes you fat, like I talked about. I want you eating those healthy fats. Sugar makes you fat. This is what causes obesity, is sugar. This graphic here says that some researchers are suggesting that the reason for the increased obesity in Americans is because of our sugary beverages. So really, we've got to be cutting these out of our diet and sticking with that one liquid only, water. I will make an exception. Tea, okay? And if you guys tuned in for our webinar last month, I did the power of self-healing. We actually found that people who drink black tea or green tea on a regular basis actually have decreased risk of cancer. So certainly we can be drinking tea, but I'm not talking about this Snapple sweetened iced tea. I'm talking about homebrewed tea, water, tea bag. That's it, okay? So some tea, water, that's about it though. So you'll be amazed if you even are a 1 soda a day type of person. Say you have 1 Mountain Dew, 1 Coke a day. You'd be amazed if what cutting that out would do for your energy, your complexion, your weight loss. Seriously, the changes are incredible. Even if you're drinking diet sodas, if you're a diet soda drinker and you're like, yeah, I don't drink any, I don't have this sugar in my soda because I'm drinking diet. It's a long chemical process, but basically they have these sweeteners in them that make you hungry, and you'd be amazed if you just get rid of your diet soda. You change nothing else about your diet. You just get rid of your diet soda, pounds will fall off of your body. And again, this isn't all about weight loss. It's not all about beating obesity. It's really about improving the quality of your life, because that's what I want for you. That's what we want at Fostering Wellness. Our job as chiropractors is to adjust your spine, to remove interference in your nervous system. But we're talking about nutrition here because if what you're feeding your body, if what it has to repair itself with is garbage, it's not going to repair itself well. So if what you're feeding your body is just chemical-laden diet drinks, it's not going to heal well. It's not going to repair itself well. It's going to have a bunch of inflammation, and you're going to pack on extra pounds. So no diet drinks, none of these sports drinks. Let's get rid of those, and let's really try to make our liquid, the thing that we are hydrating ourselves with, let's make that water. All right? All right, so that's our caveman. He's beating away the soda because that is definitely not how the caveman were drinking, right? They were only drinking water. So let's do that. All right, next strategy. Strategy 4 is green stimulation. So this was another breakfast idea I wanted to mention to you guys, is doing green smoothies. Green smoothies for breakfast. Green smoothies are an excellent way to just pack in some extra nutrients when our food is blended up and it's already broken down. You kind of get a faster shot of the nutrients into your body. You absorb them faster. That being said, if they're really sugary, you also absorb the sugar faster, which we don't want to do, which is why I always encourage people, throw some coconut oil, throw some avocado into your smoothies when you're blending them up, and that will slow the uptake of sugar, all right, and also keeps you full longer, which means you eat less often and you make better eating decisions or better food choices. So here, just again, I just want you to have some recipes. So please, to make sure you get this down, just like take a screenshot, take a picture with your cell phone. But we got a coconut peach smoothie, a mango melon madness, and almond butter and jelly. So here are just a couple of green smoothie ideas. I'm gonna direct you to a cookbook here in a second that will have a ton more smoothie ideas. And again, I always encourage you, put some fat into that shake, and it'll last longer. If you're gonna do it, if it's gonna be a meal replacement, or you're gonna do it for breakfast, put some fat in there. It'll make it last longer, make you full longer, so that you're going to continue to make good eating choices throughout your day. So that's the green smoothie. All right, and then strategy 5. This is our last strategy. Be creative, right? A lot of times we will decide, you know, it's the new year, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to make good decisions, and you eat a salad every single day. I love salads personally. In the summertime, that is pretty much what I eat every single day because I have a fresh garden and I pick it all out of my garden. But that can get really boring and that can get really stale, and you're just like, I'm sick of this, I want to eat real food, and then you go and make a bad decision again because you got bored. There are so many options when it comes to eating healthy. I mean, I just showed you a bunch of recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's just a small sampling, okay? But the internet is rife with these recipes. So look up paleo recipes, and for the most part it's gonna have recipes like the ones I just showed you. And again, I'm not trying to just push the paleo thing, because there are different diets that work better for different people, but that's getting rid of processed food. It's low in carbohydrates. It's going to be a diet system that's going to work for most people. Not a diet system, I should say, but a lifestyle, a way of eating that's going to work for most people. So some things to help you be creative. One, this is my favorite cookbook. It's the one I use the most in my home. It's First Degree of Change. It comes from the company called Standard Process. They're a supplement company that we use in our offices in Brandon, Rutland, and Randolph. We actually are doing our Standard Process 21-day purification program. Like now, we're having our purification workshop tomorrow night in Randolph. So that's January 3rd in Randolph. That's tomorrow. And then we'll have it in Rutland on Wednesday. And then a week later, we'll have it, I believe, the 10th or the 11th. But it's next Wednesday. We'll be having that workshop in Brandon. But anyway, it's a 21-day purification program. You follow the supplement protocol, and you basically can take recipes out of this cookbook. You know, there's some eating restrictions for 21 days. Life-changing, life-changing. I have a totally different diet than I did seven years ago because of this program. And this cookbook has, since this company has come out with a cookbook, it's made it so much easier. It's a cookbook, again, all year round, not just when I'm on the program, but all year round. This is the cookbook I use the most. It has a lot of really creative ways to eat healthy food that tastes amazing. It's so good. And honestly, I'm eating like more yummy food when I do this program because I'm really spending time cooking and investing time in the kitchen and creating fun recipes, especially if my husband's doing it with me. But yeah, so this is a great cookbook. And I mentioned there are a ton of smoothie and shake ideas in this book. So you can purchase this at our offices. You can also find a PDF that's online for free. But yeah, it's for sale in all of our offices, and people who pre-registered for our purification workshops get this cookbook for free. So pretty exciting. So a couple other ideas for being creative. I mentioned Mark Sisson before when we looked at that infographic of what to eat. This is his book called The Primal Blueprint, and he kind of talks about, again, eating, getting back to the way our ancestors were eating. On the title, it says reprogram your genes for effortless weight loss, vibrant health, and boundless energy. As far as dietary stuff goes, he is very intelligent. His stuff is well researched. He's really got some great ideas. He also has a Primal Blueprint cookbook, so you can check that out. And I believe his website is maybe primalblueprint.com. He also has a blog called Mark's Daily Apple. Mark's Daily Apple, and you get a lot of good dietary advice from there. And then the Bulletproof Diet book by Dave Asprey. That's another great, eating program. Mark Sisson and Dave Asprey, they have a lot in common in the suggestions they're making, with a couple of tweaks and differences between the two. Again, the same thing is not going to work for everybody. So again, I encourage you to read different stuff and try what works for you, but there are some simple rules that are going to work for everybody, and those are the strategies that I just gave you. And then Live and Levita Low Carb. That's a podcast, and it's with Jimmy Moore, and he's a guy who lost like something, I want to say like 180 pounds, basically going on a low-carb ketogenic type diet. And I believe he wrote a book called Keto Clarity, so that talks about the ketogenic diet. So check out these guys, Mark Sisson, Dave Asprey, Jimmy Moore. They've got excellent advice on how to eat. They get a little more in-depth, but again, if you just apply the 5 simple strategies that we talked about, then you're going to be well on your way to a more vibrant, more energetic, healthier life, just by making different decisions about what you put in your mouth every single day. There we go. So it's time to say wow. All right. We just came out of the holidays. I believe I could get this wrong, so don't quote me, but I believe on average, Americans gain about 6 pounds over the holiday season that they never lose. That's 6 pounds that you get stuck with, okay, for the rest of your life. And if every year you get another 6 pounds, where are we going to end up? On one of those obese statistics, right? So let's make a different decision today. It's a new year, new you, right? We hear that all the time. But again, these are just some simple strategies to put in place. There we go. So we're here for you at Fostering Wellness and Randolph Chiropractic. We're here for you because our singular focus is to improve the quality of the life and health for every person that we encounter. If you guys have been a part of our office for long, you know that that's what we want for you. We just want you to be able to be the healthiest version of yourself. I want better quality of life for every one of my patients and for everyone that I encounter. So I give you 5 strategies today, guys. Put them into play. Start making decisions to move towards a healthier you. We talk about this all the time at our Life You Save class. we're a sum of the choices we've made. So it's not just nutrition, but you know, the way I choose to think, the way I choose to talk to myself, you know, the sleep I choose, or you know, choose not, if I'm not, you know, not making sure that I get myself quality sleep, whether we exercise or not, those choices that we make every day, they've taken us to who we are today. So you can make better choices every single day. We're not going to be perfect. I promise you I was not perfect this holiday season, but that is why on Wednesday with my patients, I am starting the 21-day purification program, because I'm going to get myself back on the wagon, eating the things that will feed my body healthy nutrition so that I can live a more vibrant life. I want the same for you. So thanks for tuning in today, everybody. I wish you a very happy new year and a wonderful 2017. It's going to be a great year because we're going to make it a great year. All right? Take care, guys. We love you. Bye.